Warning, what I'm about to show you is some grade A smut. And not only is this hot as hell and way classier than that scratch and sniff issue of Hustler, it's a masterwork worthy of a fine art master gallery. You might be familiar with Rembrandt. No, not the intense stain-removing toothpaste, but the old Dutch master seen here in self-portrait with beret and turned-up collar, which I've got to be honest is titled right on the nose. Art historians consider Rembrandt to be one of the greatest visual artists of his time in perhaps all of history, spanning not just self-portraits but hundreds of paintings, hundreds of etchings, and thousands of drawings. The auction house Christie's just put a number of Rembrandt's works up for bidding in its Old Masters Part 1 collection, featuring some of his 1600s era pieces, including this one of some sailboats, this one of 3 trees, and a few that involve Mr. Jesus Christ. But hey, what's this? Right in the middle of the page there. Explicit content. This lot contains explicit material and mature subject matter. Okay, that's the kind of warning you put up before an episode of Euphoria. So what exactly could be so explicit about this piece with an estimated value of 250,000 to 400,000 British pounds sterling? Well, in English, the title of this thing is The French Bed. A quick Google of French bed doesn't seem so bad. And a quick Google of French bread seems delicious. Okay, so let's click lot 18. Yep. All right, I see what looks like a bedroom, some sheets, a bed post, there's a side table, and whoa, okay, yeah, a lot left of the imagination here. It's like I just walked in on my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. So there's an essay that accompanies this thing that says the French bed depicts a young couple making love on a large 4-poster bed with a canopy. And then it goes on to show you the names of some other old smut you're free to track down in your spare time. Now, of course, works of art depicting how humans prefer to spend their free time are about as old as time, dating back centuries. But as an art historian emailed to CNN, he'd never seen this kind of explicit warning on a painting before, and figured it was a good piece of marketing that will excite the bidding. Okay, now, am I allowed to show you this uncensored version? YouTube's community guidelines say they may allow sexual content when the primary purpose is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic, and isn't gratuitous. Now, I wouldn't necessarily classify this art as gratuitous, and frankly, I think this person's facial expression kind of says it all. Though the auction house's details do note this counterproof is printing very strongly and sharply, with intense contrasts and much burr. I personally don't sense much burr as they appear to be mostly clothed and under a tent, but I can't see the other side of the image. So if you want to buy this thing, you're too late. The auction closed on Thursday and was realized for 189,000 pounds, or about 60 grand less than what they estimated it would go for. There's no word yet on who purchased this thing or where it might be displayed, but if you want to check it out in person, don't be surprised if you have to pass through some curtains in the back of an old video store.